Hey everybody, welcome to Crack Pack Tuesday, number 112 on the Mana Leak. I'm John as always, and we have, right here, the final pack of Amonkhet that we're ever opening a pack from a set that has had pretty low values and pretty mediocre drafts in my opinion. But we're going to crack this pack open, see what's in it, see if we get another invocation. We've gotten one, finally, and talk about what we would take pack one, pick one if this was a draft, and then we'll look forward to Hour of Devastation. First crack pack will be in 2 weeks. Up first is cancel 1 blue, counter target spell. Not something you really want to be taking in draft in any set ever. In sealed, it gets a lot better, but draft, Next pick, we're looking at Bloodlust Insider, a single red mana for a creature human warrior. Tap, target creature gains haste until end of turn, a card that has become begrudgingly playable. This format is just super favorable for Bloodlust Insider style shenanigans. Still, I would never take it first pick. Fanbearer is a card that I would consider first pick in a weaker pack. A single white mana for a creature zombie. Pay 2, tap target creature. Tappers are decent when they cost colorless mana. 2 is getting up there in price, but still not too big of a deal, and I'd be very happy to play multiple Fanbearers and take it first pick. Let's hope the pack gets better, but we've got a first pick card, so it's better than some packs we've seen. Talkrop Skirmisher, creature Naga Warrior for 1 blue for a 2/1, Embalmment for 3 and a blue. Totally fine. There's not really a super aggro blue deck. The spells deck doesn't necessarily want this guy. The blue-white deck is where this probably shines the most, and even that's not shining that bright. Nowhere near a first pick. Soul Stinger is up next, a card that I thought was going to be fantastic in this set, and wasn't really fantastic. It was okay. 3 and a black for a creature Scorpion Demon for a 4/5. Put a counter on a creature you control when it comes into the battlefield, and then when it dies, put 2 counters. Put a -1/-1 counter on another target creature for each -1/-1 counter on Soul Stinger. It does what it needs to do now and then, but it doesn't die as readily as one would hope. There's not really a sack outlet in this format, so nowhere near a first pick. Pouncing Cheetah is up next, a 3/2 for 3 creature cat with flash. This should be good, and it just never really was. You could play it as your 23rd card, but I felt like a 3/2 flash for 3 was going to be significantly better, and it just was not. Being reactive, blocking, not a great idea in this format, unfortunately. Nowhere near a first pick, sometimes not even playable. A Cursed Minotaur is always playable, however. A 3/2 menace creature zombie Minotaur for 3 is just solid. It's nice and aggressive in an aggressive format. It's not really a first pick. I would feel horrible first picking this card. We're not going to take it over a Fanbearer, but a very, very, very playable card. Colossopede is up next, a 5/5 for 5 creature insect. It was okay. It was okay. It was definitely significantly better in sealed, where, not everybody had a massively aggressive deck guaranteed, like seems to happen in draft leagues frequently. But yeah, it's a fine enough card in sealed. In draft, you're not going to play it quite as readily, but you still would, a little bit more than I would have expected for a vanilla 5/5, but nowhere near a first pick. Unwavering Initiate is 2 and a white for a creature human warrior. It's a 3/2 with Embalm and Vigilant. Embalm for 5. An okay creature. It's a little bit expensive, shockingly, for the super aggressive red-white decks, but it still does a decent job as a filler type creature. I would never first pick it, but I pretty much always play it in most white decks. All right, that is 9 commons, so we do have a foil. Who knows what it's going to be? Our first uncommon is Onward to Victory. Onward is 2 and a red for an instant. Target creature gets X plus 0 until end of turn, where X is its power. Victory, 2 and a white for a sorcery Aftermath. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn. I've never really liked this card. I've tried to play it a few times. I've definitely died to it. It's just so situational that it works. It feels like fog. It has a high win percentage in that when it is played, the person typically wins. However, what you don't see is the 99 other times that it just sits in the person's hand and they lose. Not a card that I'm super happy to play too often, but yes, I have died to it, and yes, I will continue to die to it until we're done with Hour of Devastation. Our second uncommon is Flame Blade Adept, a single red mana for a creature Jackal Warrior. It's a 1/2 with Menace, and when you cycle or discard a card, it gets +1/+1/+0 until end of turn. This is okay just because it's a 1-drop, and 1-drops were surprisingly playable in this format. You never really got there off the cycling discard thing. Like, you maybe got in for an extra point or two of damage in most games. Really, it was just a 1/2 with Menace that held a cartouche and things like that. Nowhere near a first pick, though. We're still on that Fanbearer, and we're going to continue to be on the Fanbearer because we have a Grasping Dunes next. A land desert, tap, add a colorless to your mana, which is not something you want to be doing in this format. You don't want to hurt your mana base. Or pay 1, tap it, sack it to put a -1/-1 counter on a creature, but you can only do it at sorcery speed. It's not good. It's not good. Hurting your mana base by playing colorless mana, hurting your mana base by sacking a land, all to get a single counter, not worth it. Our rare, and we do have a foil rare. Our rare is Plague Belcher, 2 and black for a creature zombie beast. It's a 5/4 with Menace. When it comes into play, put 2 -1/-1 counters on a creature you control. Whenever a zombie you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. It's a 5/4 Menace for 3 if you can throw those counters somewhere else. Even if you can't, it's a 3/2 Menace, which is still very fine. Cursed Minotaur, super, super playable. And the fact that if you're in the zombies deck, you're going to be getting all kinds of incremental damage through. Very, very awesome. I would happily first pick a Plague Belcher all day, every day. Our foil rare is garbage. Throne of the God Pharaoh, 2 generic mana for a legendary artifact. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures you control. Not very good. Yeah, you'll get in for some incremental damage, and that's cool, but you're taking turn 2 to play a card that does nothing until it does something. And that is terrible, especially in this format where you need to be playing creatures on curve and attacking all the time. If you're playing this in a deck that wants to be attacking, you're doing it wrong. Very bad card, not a card that I would ever play. Yes, I've seen people win with it. Yes, I've seen janky things done. But if you want to win consistently, you don't play that card. So really, we're looking at Fanbearer or Plague Belcher, and Plague Belcher just smashes Fanbearer easily. Another easy pack, that's really been the story of Amonkhet. The rare has either been bomby and you take it, or the packs have been weak. We had a few cool packs here or there where we actually got to have discussions as to which piece of removal do we take, or do we take the medium removal versus the maybe slightly more than medium creature. But unfortunately, this set has had its fair share of obvious picks. Hopefully Hour of Devastation fixes that up. The cards that I've seen so far look really, really cool. Hopefully the format slows down a little bit with expensive things with like Eternalize and Mana Sinks, etc. But if you want to hear all about Hour of Devastation, make sure that you tune in starting Friday when the set review begins. We will have set reviews Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, as well as all kinds of pre-release Hour of Devastation recaps and paper draft recaps and all kinds of stuff on that. So make sure that you do check all that out. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can always find me on Twitter at TheManaLeak. That's LEEK, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me at Facebook.com/TheManaLeak, Twitch.tv/TheManaLeak, and Patreon.com/TheManaLeak. If you like the content, click that thumbs up button. If you want to see more and you haven't already, click subscribe. And if you do have those questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.